Thought I'd start with a tour of the layout room. The room was built as a sunroom versus a dedicated train room. I thought it would add more value to the house that way. So what I did is I took some insulation sheets and just plugged the windows where the layout's going to go. It's my first stack of lumber to initially begin the bench work. And what I did is set the track height at 50 inches and then the top of the shadow box at 6 feet. And I'm using just basic tools to do the work. And here I'm setting the first of the vertical posts that the bench work will be. Actually, it's the primary support for the bench work. I had to do some trimming to get the legs to fit around the baseboards. After cutting the post to length, I went and routed them for the horizontal strips. And I built a set of L girders. And here I'm starting. You see the horizontal strips where the router cuts were, and then L girders in the top and bottom. And I'm building the first corner, and that's a 2-foot wide corner. Made a lot of trips to Home Depot. Here I'm soaking the masonite backdrop so I can bend it around the corner. It took about an hour to get it soaked well enough where it bent easily, and there you can see it makes a real nice curve, nice transition. And I'm setting it up so I can disassemble this so it breaks into sections. And getting to the second corner, same process. Here I have that constructed and setting the corner braces. And I have the masonite in that corner as well. Now I have all the backdrop cut and attached to the framework. Well, I've reached the point with bench work where I have the masonite in for the backdrop. And I need to use some spackling and work on the joints, and I need to countersink the screws. So I'm going to do that. And then after that I'm going to start working on the top, because this is going to be a shadow box style bench work. I have a bunch of L girders made up, and then a bunch of lumber here for the framework. And a lot of guys stress using quality wood for bench work, but the way I'm putting this together, I didn't feel I needed to spend the money for really good wood, so this is all low dollar furring strip wood. Now for the L girders, I tried to choose pieces of wood that was as straight as I could find, and some of the stuff's pretty good. But even with that, it doesn't have to be perfect. You want it as straight as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect though. And since the modules are pieces by themselves, I use good wood for the modules, and the modules are just going to attach to this bench work, so having those true is important, but the bench work to support it isn't necessarily necessary. So I'm going to work on getting the seams filled with some spackling, getting the screws countersunk, and then after that I'll start working on the top.